Welcome to Scotland. Today I am going to give you a Scottish makeover, and I am also going to tell you a few things that you might like to see on your visit here in Scotland. So I have some pictures to show you, and I'm going to do this kind of makeup look on you, blue as the Scottish flag is behind me. So we'll just get started straight away. First I'm just going to wipe your face down with these wipes. They're tomato. They don't smell like tomato though. First thing you should know about Scotland is our weather isn't that good. Although, if it's a nice day, it's beautiful here in Scotland if you get that sunshine. So I would recommend that anyone coming to Scotland would come in the summertime. Okay. I'm just going to wipe your face down. So, obviously you're going to need to see some castles while you're here. And we do have a lot of castles. Now, Edinburgh is a big castle, but that's not my favourite castle. My favourite castle is Stirling Castle. I don't know what it is about it, it's just, I think it's awesome. Now right next to Stirling Castle is Wallace's Monument. I'm going to show you a picture of that just now. This is Wallace's Monument, and you can go in here and there's windy stairs like this all the way up to the top, and you can stand up the top there and look over the whole of Stirling. And when you're up there you realise why they built a castle on that particular area, because it's very flat all the way round until you come to the hills, of course, but it's really flat. So in the olden days people would be able to see an enemy coming from miles off. Next thing I'm going to do is just spray your face with this Olay mist. Now, while you're in William Wallace's Monument, you must take a look at his sword. The blade on his sword is about my size. So I'm just under 5 foot, so that's about the size of the blade without the handle. And I do have a picture of William Wallace's sword. And here it is here. He must have been a really big guy to be swinging this sword about. So in the film Braveheart, he was way bigger than Mel Gibson. Okay, now we're on to primer. I'm going to prime you with this Revolution spray. Okay, let me do this so I don't spray myself in the eye. Just try that. And do you know something about Scotland as well? Every New Year, almost every country in the whole world sings a Scottish song. Did you know that? Auld Lang Syne. It's a Scottish song and everybody sings it. So us Scots are very proud of that song. Okay, now we're on to, what am I on to now? I've primed you. Foundation now, foundation. Today I'm just using this Satin Liquid foundation and I'll put it on with a brush. There's also, if you're a shopper, there's good shopping. Edinburgh shopping is expensive though, it's more expensive than Glasgow shopping, for instance. Although my favourite shop is B&M's, it's called. And that shop, it's not just in Scotland, I think it's the whole of the UK B&M's is in. It sells anything you want. It sells window washers, car tyres, paint, jewellery, pet stuff. It sells everything. So I'm just going to apply some of this to my brush. In fact, I'll apply it to the back of my hand. There we go. And then I can just dab. And then dab it on you. Dab, dab, dab. Dab, dab, dab. Just dab it on. Dab, dab, dab. So I think I've got more pictures. I think I've got a picture of Robert the Bruce. And I believe Robert the Bruce's statue is near Stirling Castle. Where is he? There he is. That's Robert the Bruce. Right there, big statue of him. Of course, when I was at school, we knew nothing about our country, which is a shame, really. It wasn't until I was an adult I found out about like William Wallace and Robert the Bruce, and the only person we did talk about when I was a kid was Robert Burns. And Robert Burns is a poet, or was a poet, and he came from Ayrshire, and to this day you can go and visit his cottage, and his cottage still has a thatched roof on it, and apparently he was quite the lad. He apparently had quite a lot of girlfriends. It must have been the poetry that wooed them. I think he was a bit of an old romantic. Also, in Ayrshire is a very strange road. I think it's called the Electric Bray. You can look it up. And it's an optical illusion road. Yeah, your foundation looks good. So it looks as if you went out with a bottle of water, which we used to do as children, and you poured it on the road, it would look as if it was rolling up the hill. It's the weirdest thing ever. Okay, what am I doing now? Right, I've done that. Now I'm going to do some concealing, and I'm going to use this concealer, and I'm going to wet my brush. I'll just use this primer to wet the brush. The Beauty Blender. We want it nice and damp. And I'm going to just conceal areas here. Here. And here. And down your nose. and above your lip, like that. And then I'm just going to conceal it. So, there's many beautiful islands in Scotland, if you fancy visiting one of them. My favourite island, of course, is the Isle of Bute. And Prince Charles is actually the Duke of Rossi, I think his title is as well. I think that's one of his titles, the Duke of Rossi. And the castle in Rossi is quite fancy. Well, when I say fancy, there's a moat round it and a drawbridge. The drawbridge is always down, but it's got a moat round it, which is really quite cool. And as a wee girl, I remember going there to feed the ducks and the seagulls. Let me just blend all of that in. In fact, I've got some pictures of the Isle of Bute to show you. This is one picture of the Isle of Bute. It's very beautiful. It's a very laid back place. Coming from Glasgow, every time I go, I think that I've stepped back in time a little. And here's another one. This is a big fancy hotel here. As kids, we could never really afford to go to that hotel. The Glenburn, I think it's called. But I'm sure I've probably stayed in one of these guest houses at some point. And right up the back here is a little pathway that you can go through, and it's called Skeoch Woods. Skeoch Woods. And I tell everybody a story about the woods and about a man jumped out on us one day. Me, my ex-husband and my daughter was in the pram and we were walking along the woods, and a man jumped out just out of the blue from the woods and asked us, do we want to hear a riddle? So that was a whole other issue, but that was where it was right there. Now, to get to the Isle of Bute, you need to go on the ferry. So this is the ferry, Caledonian McBreen ferries. And you go on this. If you go to Wemyss, it's about a half an hour journey to get to Rossi. Right, let's get some more makeup on. And then I've got another island I want to show you. Right, so we've done that. Now we're going on to powder. I'm going to use this Barry M powder. Yeah, the man that jumped out on us. Would you like to hear the riddle? I never heard the riddle because as soon as the man jumped out the bush and asked us, do we want to hear a riddle, I took my daughter and ran, while the ex-husband was left to tackle this maniac in the bushes. And he said to my ex-husband, if there was 10 crows sitting on a farmer's fence and the farmer shot one, how many crows would be remaining? And my ex-husband went, what? And he said, none, because the sound of the gun scared them all off. And my ex-husband said to him, right. And the man about turned and went back into the bushes. Now, I'm going to just put this powder all over you. It was a very bizarre encounter. I'm sure he won't be in the bushes now, so if you go to the Isle of Bute, I'm sure he's going to be safe. So that happened. Everybody that I talked to know him as the Riddleman. So where I showed you, that was where the path was that we were approached. there's another island that's right next to the Isle of Bute called the Isle of Arran. I've been there also. It's really nice as well, but it even had less to do, believe it or not. But Arran is very popular with hill walkers and mountain climbers, because there's a huge big mountain called Goat Fell. Right, so I've done that. So now we're on to the eyeshadow. And today I'm using this palette, Forever Flawless. And the reason I chose this was because it's got lots of lovely blues and greens and whites, just like the flag. So I'm going to do the same kind of look on you as what I've done on me. And I've got my brushes. So the first one I dipped into was this one here. In the Isle of Bute, I think maybe Arran's the same, but you can grow palm trees and monkey puzzle trees. It's situated a way that it gets hot air from somewhere, and they can actually grow. Now, in my neck of the woods, you're not going to see a palm tree unless it's a plastic one. But they've got a slightly better climate. And that looks lovely. And now I'm going to dip into this one next to it, this one here, slightly darker. I'm going to get your bottom lid now. Arran is, the last time I went to Arran I got a lot of jams and marmalades. They seem to do a lot of the kind of thing in Arran. And a lot of woolen stuff, like woolen cardigans and things like that they do in Arran. And of course whiskey, but that's all over Scotland, so that's not just a island thing. As my dad says, when he drinks whiskey, he drinks whiskey. When he drinks water, he drinks water. He doesn't have water in his whiskey at all. That's frowned upon. So I'm going to use this white here, and it's my little brush. I'm going to use this white as kind of, you could actually use it as a highlighter, but I'm going to put it under your brow bone here like this. Right here. Like that. So right up north, I'm talking right up north, do you know, I'm going to show you a beach that looks perfect. And you're not going to believe this beach is in Scotland because it looks tropical. This is the island of Lewis, the Isle of Lewis. Look at that. The water will be Baltic though. All year round it'll be freezing. But isn't that something? Look at these beaches. You would never think that that was in Scotland. Yet it is. Like there's a nice little sheep. It looks like a tropical place. And I'll show you where it is. There it is. Oh, wait a minute, Jerry. There we go. See, it's right up the top there of Scotland, and there it is, that is the island. See? You would never believe that was in Scotland, but you'd need to be brave to be having a swim in that water, I'll tell you. Right, eyeliner. Although I can remember one time when I was a wee girl, I must have been up in Inverness or Aberdeen, must have been Inverness or somewhere, and I decided to go in the water. While I was in the water, I could see oil rigs in the background, and it was freezing. My lips turned blue. So I'm going to go your waterline, I'm going to drag this across, and then I'm going to give you a little flick as well, okay? Close your eye, flick, close your eye, flick, close your eye, flick. This side, close your eye, flick, close your eye, flick, and close your eye, flick. Awesome. Another place you might like to go is Inveraray. Inveraray is a lovely place. My mum and dad used to have a caravan, and when I say caravan, it was like a mobile home kind of thing. It was like a holiday home, and that was in a place called St. Catherine's. I'm just going to take this and just line the top of your eye. And I remember taking the kids up there. There was absolutely nothing to do. So you're going up just to sit and look at the scenery. But it was very beautiful. The only thing about Scotland as well is the midges. I'm going to give you a line and bring it in like this. I'm going to sweep it in. Sweep, sweep, sweep. And sweep, sweep, sweep. That looks about right. The midges. Midges are tiny little fly pests. Tiny little flies like that. But they're kind of like mosquitoes in the way they like to suck your blood. People try all sorts of things. The best thing, I suppose, is from Avon, and it's a thing called Skin So Soft, and it's like an oil that you put on your skin to moisturise. For some reason, they're not keen on that, but I remember when I was up in Inveraray, I bought midgie wipes that you wipe yourself to stop the midges. It just fed them. They enjoyed the taste of them, so that was horrible. And at the time we had a Dalmatian dog. His name was Harvey. And he was going into the woods to do his business. And see, when he came out, he was like a black Labrador, because he was covered in midges. So I'm going to do your brows now with this pencil. So the midges are a nightmare. And they like it if you're in like the wooded area, you know, if you're camping kind of thing, they love that. But seeing that, see if I sit out in my garden on a nice summer's night, they come out and they get you. I think it's Sophie or Amanda. I think it might be Amanda, one of my daughters anyway, kind of takes a bad reaction to midgie bites, so she comes out in big welts with them. There's nothing we can do about them. I'm going to use my little, where are we? Where's my thing? No, it's not, that's not that. There it is. My little spoolie. I'm going to drag all of that through. Like this. Oh, if you like ghostly things, my brother went on a little ghost tour in Edinburgh. Apparently, I've not been, but apparently there's a area of Edinburgh that they do ghost tours, and there's a particular cavern or cave or something like that that's meant to be haunted by a little girl, the ghost of a little girl. And when people go to visit this said area, they take along a little gift, like a little teddy bear or a little doll or something to leave for her. Now, I don't know if that's so she doesn't follow you home or not. Or if it's just to be nice to her. I'd be making sure I left something. I don't want her to follow me home. Right. mascara. I've got this little mascara. Now, I can't remember, I must have got this in a beauty box, but it's a kind of treatment for your eyelashes as well, so I thought we would use this today. Okay. But the castle, I think every castle's haunted, so no matter what castle you go to, there's going to be ghosts. You always get that feeling. Even Wallace's monument, I think's haunted. I'll give you a tip though. If you visit Wallace's monument, don't wear a skirt, wear trousers. Because I wore a skirt, and because you're going up these windy stairs like that, and there's little holes in the side of Wallace's, that the air just comes in. So as you're going up there, the wind's blowing you. I was like Marilyn Monroe going up the stairs. Only not as prettier, of course. And there's a lot of stairs. But once you're at the top, it's an amazing view. Okay, so now I've done that, what am I doing now? I'm doing blusher now. I'm on to blusher. And I'm using this Zoeva blusher set. I'm not going to use the highlight, but I'm going to use the blusher. I think that'll be nice on you. Oh, if you like skiing, this is a place that I went with my ex-husband, Amanda and Peter, and it's called Aviemore. And that does a lot of skiing and things like that up there. Okay, I'm just going to get the balls of your cheeks here. Like that. Again, not really a lot to do. But if you're just going for a relaxing break, you'll relax because there's not really much. If you're looking for something to do, it's really just the cities that you'll find a lot of nightlife, etc. But while you're here, you're going to need to try the haggis. Now, you can get vegetarian and vegan haggis now. I personally have never ate it the traditional way because I've heard it stinks when it's cooking. I've had haggis that they just boil in a plastic bag, so it doesn't smell bad at all. It smells nice, but the traditional way's in a sheep's stomach, and that is supposed to really smell, so I can't be doing with that. But as I say, you can get vegetarian and vegan haggis now. That looks beautiful on you. Which is good for my son, because my son's vegan. And he's a strict vegan, but he doesn't preach to me or to anyone that eats meat. You know, he just does his own thing. But he's very strict to even his shampoo and everything that's got to be vegan. He can't have normal deodorant and things like that. He's very strict. So anyway, I'm going to use this Elizabeth Arden palette for a highlighter. I'm loving it. These are the shades. Now let me have a look. I think maybe will we go with the gold today? Right, we'll go with gold. And I'm just going to, if you smile, I like to get right here, right there, and then up a little bit, like that, and here, so there's many beautiful places to go in Scotland. And if you've got the weather, it'll be wonderful. Okay, now we're on to lipstick. Now, I don't know how bold you feel today, but I've got these two. I've got this one that's really blue. See? Or I've got this one that's slightly green. The blue. This will be wonderful with your, oh yeah, with your eyeshadow. See, you really suit that. Go. Oh, this is by Revolution. A lot of my stuff's from Revolution. And just tidy that just there. Perfect. And now for fixing spray, I'm going to use, is this Cookies and Cream? I think it is Cookies and Cream. I've not got my glasses. Cookies and Cream. And this smells so good. Is it Cookies and Cream? It doesn't smell like the Cookies and Cream. Vanilla and coconut. There you go. I knew it didn't smell like Cookies and Cream. Vanilla and coconut. Vanilla and coconut. Okay, now I'm going to clean your tattoo and your piercings. So for your tattoo, I'm just going to use this. See, I like mine's nice and bright, so I don't want makeup on it. So we want your tattoo to be nice and bright as well. There we go. And we'll use some of the vanilla and coconut onto a cotton swab. We'll just get it, this piercing here and this piercing up here. Nice and shiny. Right, perfume. I say this every time, but this is one of my favourites. And it's my Chanel Cristal Verte. It's amazing. It's amazing. Oh, it's so good. So you lift up and your wrists. You rub it in. And now for me. And there you go. I hope you enjoyed this makeover and to hear a little thing or two about Scotland. I hope I didn't scare you with the Riddleman story though. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll see you again next time.